How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hopefully this isn't your first video here because this isn't going to be a video about any kind of like actual gaming content. I'm not going to be playing any games. This is a kind of a update on the channel, update about my life, what to expect from the channel going forward. Just I've been meaning to put this video out for the last couple of weeks. I've just been super busy, so I'm just now finally able to get a time to do this. So basically, I just wanted to kind of let everybody know what's going on with me, my life, how that's going to impact the channel, and kind of what to expect going forward. So I guess I'll just kind of like backtrack a little bit. So excuse me. Um, so last year was pretty rough for me personally. It started with at the end of January of 2025. I was laid off. Not just me personally, our whole IT department for the company that I was working for was laid off. So I was doing IT support for a insurance brokerage company, and basically they decided that it was more cost effective to outsource all their IT support overseas. And basically everybody that was part of our IT team here in the states was let go. So that was kind of the start of my 2025. I was unemployed for most of the year. I was pretty much trying to get back into IT because it's easy. For the most part, it usually pays decently. It's not hard. It's I've been doing it for like 10 years, so I was trying to get back into that. But I don't know what the fuck happened. But I guess after COVID hit, I was working from home. So I guess after COVID wrapped up, all those kind of work from home positions kind of dried up, and also I guess IT in general is like oversaturated with people now. It doesn't help that, a lot of it's being outsourced overseas, cheap labor, you know, AI is also playing a factor into it as well. So I was trying to get back into IT and like there was nobody hiring. Or well, there's people hiring, but like the pay was like half of what I was making for like the same position. So I didn't want to settle for that. So I went a good while unemployed, you know, living off of unemployment. That was a benefit that, of being laid off. The company covered unemployment. Um, so eventually, later in the year, I did get another job. I was working for the United States Postal Service for a couple months. That kind of sucked ass. I'm not gonna lie. USPS, I guess, is notorious for having like a horribly toxic work environment, and I had to experience that firsthand. Um, so basically, I was there for a couple months. I raised some issues at the facility that I was working at, which I guess is a big no-no. So if you complain, but it wasn't even a complaint. It was just valid criticism of stuff that was going on there. And I guess the manager that I went to did not appreciate that and basically retaliated against me and moved me into a different position because they can just up and do that. Because I guess the way that the post office works is basically you are treated like a slave for 2 years. Basically, they have some weird system where you work there, but you're not really a full-time permanent employee until like you get through like this 2-year period and get converted over or some fucking retarded shit like that, where basically you get hazed for 2 years and treated like shit, and they can make you work as little or as many hours as they want you to and fiddle fuck with your schedule at any moment, and stuff like that. So I guess, I brought up my concerns and they retaliated against me and just moved me into a completely different position, which is not what I was hired on to do. And this position was basically the equivalent of um, I don't know, manual labor. And at 40 years old, and with my physical issues that I have because I was in the military, that was not jiving with me. So, and also too, I had now had a target put on my back because I raised concerns. Um, so I was always getting like, the shit hours or the shit shift and like basically whatever other bullshit needed to be done was being tossed onto me. So I didn't stay there very long. I left that after about 4 months, and then I have a new job now where I'm basically doing security, overnight security for a company. Um, it's super easy. It doesn't pay shit, but it's super easy. So that's how. my 2025 started, I got laid off, was unemployed. That's fine. I have money saved up. That wasn't a big issue. Um, I also get, payments from the VA for, like I said, my military disabilities, things like that. Um, so that's one part of what's going on. Um, Second part is I'm also going through a divorce. It's been a long time coming. There's no drama really around it. There's no no cheating, no violence, no domestic stuff. There's no drama to it. It's completely mutual. Been married for like 16 years, um, and just over time just grew apart. Honestly, I think looking back and just being completely honest, and my wife kind of feels the same way. We probably never should have gotten married. We got married around the time that I went into the military. And I think in my mind, like, okay, my girlfriend at the time, like, I want to go ahead and bring her with me. I don't want to, you know, because they're going to send me over to Germany. I'm like, I don't want to go over to Germany by myself and like live in these fucking barracks with a bunch of young kids. Because at the time I was a little bit older than most people that go into the military. I was 26. So I'd already kind of like gotten my party phase, done and everything. And, I was ready for like, to settle down, start a family type of thing. So, married the girl that I was dating at the time, ended up being my wife for like 16 years, like I mentioned. But, just kind of over time, we grew apart, kind of realized that, hey, we're not really that great of a fit for each other. And the relationship, especially after like COVID and after my son was born, basically kind of just soured and it became like really resentful and things like that. So we basically just drifted apart, became pretty much just roommates, and there's a lot of like passive aggressive. Like we wouldn't fight or anything, especially in front of our kid or anything. Like there's no fighting, anything like that. It's just we basically just became roommates, and unless it was concerning our kid, we wouldn't even talk to each other in passing or anything. So um, yeah, so that's going on. We've been technically separated for a while now. However, the actual um, what am I looking for? The actual legal part of it is still in the process. So there's no issues there. Everything's completely mutual. We're doing like an uncontested divorce, so there's no issues there. It's just going through the paperwork, which has already been submitted. So it's basically just a matter of time before that's completed. There's no issue as far as splitting up assets or anything like that. No issue there. So it's just a matter of time before that's done. So basically, what's going to happen is here in a couple months, once that's all said and done, I will be moving into a different home. I'll have like a different setup. So with everything going on, I don't really know how that's going to impact the channel. I would assume that I probably won't have any time to record uh, new footage of any games or anything like that. At least maybe not for a couple months. But I do have um, stuff recorded already. So at the time of me putting this video out, we're kind of in the middle of my Final Fantasy V playthrough. I have already started playing through Final Fantasy VI, probably like 80% through that. So um, there will be videos coming out for that over probably the next month and a half. So there will be a little bit of content coming out, um, and I'll probably play some stuff between now and the time that I actually leave this house. But yeah, I just want to kind of like let you guys know what's going on with me, as far as what's going to impact the channel and whatnot. Um, yeah, you know, honestly, I'm just looking forward to it. I kind of feel like I wasted like a good 16 years of my life, being in a relationship with somebody that, you know, if it's not your person, it's not your person. But we did our best to try and make it last and make it work, and it just didn't pan out. So ultimately, I think it's for the best. If she thinks it's for the best as well. She's a great mom. Great parent in general. Um, good person. There's no issues. There's no bad blood between us. It just didn't work out, and we finally are at the point like, yeah, there's really no point in you know beating a dead horse and trying to make this work. So It's not gonna be fair for us. It's not gonna be fair for our kid. So yeah. Mhm. So that's where we're at. So yeah, as far as the channel goes, I don't really know what it's gonna look like going forward over the next couple months. I don't want to just abandon the channel. So once everything kind of settles and I get back, you know, better on my feet, I do plan on continuing the channel and the content and whatnot. But I just wanted to put out a little quick video, kind of filling you guys in, you know, what's to be expected. So, anyways, as always, I hope everybody's safe out there, doing well. Also everybody's got drama going on. So, whatever you guys are facing out there, I feel you. I wish everybody the best. Um, you know, Mental health is also a real thing. I suffer from anxiety and depression as well. Uh, so it's tough out there. Not just stuff that I mentioned with relationships and marriage and divorces and stuff like that. There's just daily struggles out there that everybody's dealing with. So, you know, I'm pulling for everybody. Hope everybody's safe out there, um, and doing well. But yeah. So until next time, guys, hope everybody's safe, stay well, take it easy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.